Sunday. Crypto review. This is the third time I've just written it down. Here we go. Bit. We've got hoarding buzzers, 2 longs. We also have some good signs that payoffs are being made. The yellow candles indicate that, first of all, we have a full-fledged bullish trend here. And on the bullish trend, look, the yellows are working very cool for 10 hours. Here was turquoise. Here was a straight super entrance. There it was, a very strong signal, and it was duplicated at 10 o'clock, at 4 o'clock. Here, even with amplification, was in fact one of the strongest signals at all. And if you look at 4 o'clock here, we have a wave of still very much rising buying. And then we're going to go in here and touch this level. And we're going to touch this level. We're going to touch this level. If you want to test the indicator, the link to the bot is at the bottom in the description. You can spend 7 days for free. Go to all the groups that I provide. There, investor groups, in the private chat. See what I write about all the strategies. I describe how I trade, and in general, get full access for 7 days at the link at the bottom of the description. Globally, if you look at it, these 2 longs and actually with the yellow candles are very similar right now with likely sequel. In general, we still have, if you throw a slant like that in principle, we have a slant here. Let's draw her. Something like that. Which basically has now been kind of punched through. Although, if you do it like this. Let's get her now. And like this. Yeah, they did. It's been run and even tested. But today again it's Sunday. And we're going to have all of our analytics today based on where the active movement is going to start late Sunday. Because there's always some kind of movement at the end of Sunday. A picture can be drawn straight full-fledged one, and further all completely can be rewritten. They can rewrite very quickly. Well, it's tentatively continuing upward now. We have here the beginning of the pulse. Well, here we are at 10 o'clock turquoise. Turquoise should go to orange. And plus, we have a slope that we've run through. Maybe we can test it again here somewhere and go further up. So the momentum is very much building. And the power shoppers turned on. So tentatively for now, the Bitcoin is further up. Well, at 4 o'clock, it's right up to a full-blown orange clamp. And basically, we're just a little bit away from some kind of fix. Here we are. Look, first of all, we have a very strong 64 level here, which we're still trying to get a handle on. The local signs I talked about in the short videos. Bounced back down. Well, didn't reach the level and went further up. We've relieved some of that tension, and basically, all in favor of continuing further upward for now. Well, at least this level is definitely touch and go. When you break 65, this one right here, that's a pretty strong level. That's where we'll have to look. I mean, if it's going to be right here at 4 o'clock there in orange and not be able to move on, then this whole thing certainly smells like a pullback of some sort. Well, actually, if 65 breaks, it's the road to 71. This is where the buyers have been very cool. For 3 days, the cash flow is huge. And it looks really, well, 3 days if you look at it with a slant. That's for 3 days if this tilt gets through. I mean, we've had it for a week or so. Week 2 probably. There's going to be a few more bars in here. I mean, it could be drizzling sideways somehow, but in general, on cash flow, of course, 3 days is definitely a long, and keep on longing. We have, by the way, 3 days of closing today, and look, now the pictures look, well, interesting, right? And if it closes now, and if it all gets down to 61 again, well, just like this, and the candle is drawn down, the picture will be really spoiled, and it will look, well, really bad to go further down. Strong support right now is 61. The strong resistance is 64, near which beats. A break of 65,300 is likely to further upward movement. Well, it's a very powerful week. Real drawn, powerful. Look at those tails. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Week 5 with the huge tails at the bottom speaks to some very cool buyers here. Therefore, if there will be some more downward move here now, the probability that some spooner may do it without any problems and go further up. Globally, the picture is good. And here's another look. What I said the week before, that I've been waiting. This is where the 52 should have come in and talked about it. Now this tail up to the middle of the bar is actually considered a practiced move. Because I've looked at the story, and very often it comes to, well, it doesn't come to the end. It comes to the end more often than not. But when it reaches somewhere in the middle of the bar, that's it. The movement counts. Worked out, which is everything. This is the tension that's actually released, and we can move on. By the way, on the Bitcoin, if you look at the channels and the order blocks, look, first of all, there's a very cool order block drawn here. There's 2 of them, and it's a very strong zone. If you look through the channel and based on what I've seen before, the likelihood of coming again, touch 61, there is that. And from 61 onwards, the upward movement will begin. But in general, the channel boundary was touched, failed to break through it, and pulled strongly upwards. So practically, well, in fact, there's further movement here. Upward more is being drawn. Here it is, a huge just resistance where the battle is going to be. And it's going to be a very strong battle. If you want me to take your coin apart, the link to the channel is in the description. Ether. Oh, that's quite a palette of signals on the airwaves. At all. This one's for the dump. And there's a whole bunch of signals right there. It's really for the dump, and it's strong. If Bitcoin will be drained, and it will not be able to break through, it turns out, 60, above 65 level, and there will be some strong reaction down from it, then, of course, Ether will dump very strongly. That's the goal somewhere. 2500 will be. By the way, look again, started heating up, and just as things were dropping, came in at the very opening. This is the pattern that is very often repeated, but in general, this set of red overnecks, it looks fucking bad. That's not good. If they fix the picture now and start really dragging it upwards, then of course, things will get better. So another blue one will show up there and pull it up. But this actually looks really fucked up. For 2 days, the uptrend is up and it's creeping along the channel border. Well, look, again the sellers are growing very strongly and the power of the seller is growing. If we take Bitcoin, the sellers haven't even shown up on Bitcoin yet. I mean, there's just this momentum on the oscillator, but mostly still buyers. I mean, it's neutral here, and it certainly looks a little worse on the airwaves. The Ether is looking a little weaker right now, but look, Ether in general observation very often makes it seem like it can seem fucking weak, and then at some point, it just stupidly starts to get dragged and pulled up there in literally 1 day. The whole picture changes instantly. And it's changing so that things are starting to rocket further out there. So on the airwaves, we should be looking at the Bitcoin again. ByTalk rules. By total, again, the set is very good. Here's where the Lang signals are, and here's where the Bitcoin is. That is all together. And the channel boundary and 2 order blocks on the total is very much like a Bitcoin. Still looking up. By the way, the total is a very strong level, which is exactly where they knocked. And maybe also, of course, go here. Right now, the price is locked in, sandwiched between these 2 levels, and there will definitely be a way out. On the Bitcoin, as long as they draw further upwards as the week opens, we'll see about that. Here, we have total 2. Well, good long signals too. A whole bunch of them. The order block has been drawn. It touched the channel border and bounced off it. And it's drawing further upward, and there's good support here, out of it. Also total 2. So far drawing upwards. In total 3, we have a very similar picture with a good order block. Here, if no very shitty news comes out, everyone is certainly in favor of continued growth. Let's go, Viola.